Hello, this is Christina Caudill with Radiant Astrology, and today is another Soul Astrology Sunday, where we look at the coming astrology and we remind ourselves to bring consciousness to our lives. So I just want to start out with Happy New Year, Happy New Year's Eve, and Happy New Year to those of you who are already experiencing it, our friends in the Southern Hemisphere, our Aussies and New Zealanders. It is really, a time right now to just really reflect on this past year. And I've seen so much on Facebook with people saying, this is the worst year ever. Tell me next year is not going to be so bad. But I just wanted to say that 2017 definitely was an epic year, right? And it's interesting to see the transformation from the time from this time last year until now. And I have to say, this was the most epic year, but in so many ways, it was one of the most amazing years from my personal experience. But yes, there was also a lot that was scary, that was terrifying, that was sad and depressing. And, we'll have more of that as well. I mean, as we know, we're going through to 2020 and there's a lot of change ahead. However, there's also so much to celebrate and so much to be grateful for. I posted on my own page how I just had the most amazing year of connecting with so many people who are here to bring more love and more healing, more light to the world. So we definitely want to also focus on the good, focus on that which is beautiful and that which enlivens us. And so as we go into January, this is another amazingly big month, right? I sat down to write the January 2018 astrology, and I ended up just doing one on the full moon on January 1st because there's a lot happening just this week. So let's start with the new year, January 1st. We have a full moon in Cancer. So the moon is, as I said in my post, which you might want to read because I go in depth, but I'll just touch on it a little bit. The moon is in its rulership in Cancer. So expect us to feel emotive, lots of emotions rising. Because a full moon is usually a time of emotions rising, the tides rising. We feel this pull on our emotions. And so it being in Cancer, especially so. And it's an especially auspicious time to be focused on nurturing ourselves, nourishing ourselves. My friend Tim Holleran calls this a time of radical nourishment, because we have all this Capricorn energy. And in order for us to rise and be strong, we need to be nourished and focus on what it takes to nourish us. What kind of roots do we need? How can we water our roots? How can we feel safe so then we can thrive? And then we can strengthen. And so we've got a big New Year's Day. That full moon is in Eastern time is 9:24 p.m. So it's at nighttime. So have a beautiful Cancer full moon. Maybe celebrate it with those you love if you can. And then Uranus stations direct Tuesday morning around 9 a.m. Eastern time. Wow, Uranus stationing, when a planet slows to station, that's when we can really, really tend to get the most impact from it. I remember back in the summer when Uranus stationed retrograde, and I was doing this awesome, amazing launch for my eclipse circle. And here I am again doing another launch for the next eclipse circle, which is really interesting. And the last one, I was interviewing my mentor, Mark Jones, on the day of Uranus stationing retrograde, and everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. There was so many technical snafus and craziness going on, but it was amazing. We had the most amazing conversation, and thank God my husband saved it with doing some editing. So that was my podcast. It was called Inner Gold with Mark Jones, which would be interesting to listen to again now that Uranus is stationing direct, because Uranus is saying, okay, the lessons that I've given you over these past several months, now it's time to start moving forward. Now it's time that we all collectively break through to a new level of awakening. And now as Uranus station is direct, it ushers in all planets direct, right? So all of the major planets will be direct January and February. This is fairly rare. I mean, I think we've had them at least once a year for the past few years that I've noticed. When I got married to my husband, it was during all planets direct because I just thought it just felt right. It just felt like forward momentum. And then, so, we're starting the week with some forward momentum. We want to definitely put in place our vision for the year, which, as I said, includes innovation, but it includes nourishment as well. How are we going to fuel ourselves when we have a lot that we need to step up to the plate with, right? So also Tuesday, Mars in Scorpio is squaring the nose. Now that's sort of in orb now. It'll be exact around noon Eastern time. Mars in Scorpio is really about being strategic, right? And Scorpio is what's hidden. But Scorpio also has this intense drive and this intense magnetism. And so this Scorpio drive is impacting, is sort of like in this skip step of the nodes. And where are the nodes? They're in Leo and Aquarius, which is about how I can shine, Leo, and do so in a way that helps the greater good of all. That's Aquarius, right? So then when we have this T-square with Mars, that is harder to integrate. So it's like, how can I really push myself and give my all when I'm here to give something special that helps not only myself, but it helps others? So there can be some frustrating energy there, but we want to keep pushing forward and moving forward, and pushing through and knowing that we have a special purpose that we are fulfilling at this time. And that's this entire time with Leo and with the North Node in Leo. And so we've also got Wednesday when the moon enters Leo. I love a Leo moon. Usually there's, it's kind of gives you a little more enthusiasm. It's a nice time of emotional uplift. The moon in Leo is a perfect time to, what I think is to have love bombs, right? Like just tell people how much you appreciate them and just be generous with your appreciation, just being generous overall. Start noticing how generous you can feel and you can be when the moon's in Leo. And also Wednesday, Venus is sextiling Neptune. So there's cooperation there with our relationships, maybe in a way where we can be inspired by how we relate to others. I like Wednesday for relating. And then on Thursday, Mars squares Ceres. That's sort of the big aspect of the day. Ceres was sort of the smothering mother, right? Her daughter Persephone was taken to the underworld, and she then just made everything go dark on Earth, as far as like wiping out all of the vegetation and everything that nourishes us. So there's something there with if we smother too much, then we can have a loss. So, and it might not look exactly like that in your life, but there is something there with loss, and then being patient and waiting for what needs to come back. And with the square to Mars, or square from Mars, that is, again, some kind of maybe frustration. Maybe something needs to be cut away. Maybe we need to start, paring things down that aren't absolutely essential to what we're here to work on in our lives. And then Friday, we have Virgo moon. Virgo moon is wonderful for aligning with being of service, right? Now people think of Virgo moons as being It's a great time to organize and to get things in order and to clean out. And that's true too. But we also want to think of, how can we be of service in our lives? What are the practical things we can do to show our purpose in life? And sometimes it's these small little things that can really make a huge difference, like cleaning out your desk when you're starting some new projects, or cleaning out your wallet if you want more abundance, that sort of thing. And so that's a really great energy for us to, again, get down to sort of like the practical. And then next Saturday, Mars joins Jupiter in Scorpio, right? And so Jupiter in Scorpio has really been revealing a lot that's been going on in our world, a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. For instance, the whole male sexual harassment that's been revealed in the collective. With Mars coming to that, maybe there'll be another part of the story, or maybe there'll be something in our own lives where we'll say, this is the time where I'm going to get down to business and clean out, face some of these scorpionic themes that maybe are the ones that we don't usually want to face. Things to do with what we're ashamed of about ourselves, or things to do with, the ugly things we don't like to look at. Scorpio is, as I say, sex, death, and money, other people's money that affects us, taxes, things like that. But Jupiter can give us this sort of confidence to go there, to say, it's time now, I can do this, let's get this done. So I actually like Saturday, I think, for moving forward on our goals. This whole week, we're really thinking about, how can I really make the most of this year? And I really love Saturday for like getting moving on those goals. And just looking in the collective, what are these big Jupiter and Scorpio themes that are going to be triggered once again with Mars joining Jupiter? And so that's a lot of activity there. So, as I said, what makes this soul astrology is we know that we each have our own unique purpose, no matter what is happening in the collective. It all affects us each in our own personal way. We want to bring consciousness to everything we do, to the decisions we make, to the energy that we bring to situations. And we want to remember we always have a choice to return to our center. So I just wanted to remind you that today is the last day, well, actually tomorrow, January 1st, is the last day to get 20% off of my readings for the new year. Go to radiantastrology.com and check my services page and enter EVOLVE, EVOLVE, for the discount code. And I'll have a link below. I also have 5 Days of Destiny. It's a daily little Facebook video I'll be doing every day this week, starting on Monday with the replay of my Designing Destiny webinar. And we'll be getting clear on our destiny for 2018. So you do not want to miss that. That's in the Radiant Astrology Tribe on Facebook. So be sure you join. And we'll get together and just let the group support us in creating our goals and moving them forward. And the Co-Create Your Destiny group starts on January 11th. That's my eclipse circle that this time we're really delving into the outer planets. And so it's a wonderful way to connect with other women to create big things in our lives. And you'll be hearing a lot more of that soon. Otherwise, I wish you an amazing new year. Happy New Year. I hope you can find some gratitude for 2017 as you release the energy, opening up to a brand new year, a whole new you. And we're all in this together. I hope you can always remember that. And I will hopefully see you here next Sunday for Soul Astrology Sunday. Bye-bye.